My Lord.
I don't know how you did it, Pastor Lawson. I don't know how you sat here without overflowing. You have so much voice. And everybody who's a member of Christian Chapel knows you got another side too. From 2000 to 2018, without a whole lot of leadership, style, and pushing and pulling. But I don't know where else. I don't know where else we would have started a mortgage day with the young people singing.
Amen. Yes. That's right.
And with them still being present. Wow, can I say it my way? Yes. The old folks sing. You have a way of including everybody.
Amen.
And this is an important day. And it's not just an important day because a mortgage note is being made. Amen. It's an important day that will never come again.
Amen.
And the people who have come together to celebrate together, we may never be this way again.
Talk, Bishop.
And for those folk who didn't know, let me say that Sister Clara Dickerson sneaked up and said, we have a family presentation. When should we make it? And I said, before the sermon, I think is a good time. If you don't think it was in order, blame me.
That's all right.
But, that was an important, presentation. We only passed
This way once.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
this way once.
I got it.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
To see the ministers who have gathered, I want to say thank you for your presence.
Amen.
I thank Elder Castile for always making me sound better than I am. I don't think she knowingly tells any untruth, but she spins her words in such a way that it sounds better than she... Anyway. I'm sure I'm about to mess up. And to Elder Dickerson and Mrs. Dickerson and to all of the clergy, would you stand again, please? And then may I say this to all of the clergy and your spouses. Would you stand too if you're a spouse? Because we don't do this by ourselves.
Amen. Amen.
And we thank those of you who are spouses for your support in ministry.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. And I see several CME congregations present. I want to ask the members of the other CME churches present, would you please stand? I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to say too much. I'm coming back to that, I guess. But, you know, we have one of the most loyal, supportive churches I know. I mentioned the young folk. Anybody out there 17 years old? Anybody out there 17? Well, anybody out there 16?
Amen.
Let me tell you why I asked you to stand. Because I was either 16 or 17 when I met Sister Clara Dickerson at a CME youth conference. And I'm trying to say we maintained a friendship ever since 1969. This church affords you opportunities to grow together. Amen. Thank you. I'm so grateful, and I see it in the presence of other churches today. I heard it as you mentioned Pleasant Grove. I did see the name of A.J. Lawson on the cornerstone at Pleasant Grove, and over there at Benson in Jacksonville.
Amen.
And I don't know where else, but I remember where?
Evening
Chapel at Sulphur Springs. Wow. Thank you for your presence today.
Amen.
Sister Williams has already cut my time short.
7 minutes.
Let us pray. God, speak today. So that we may hear what you desire us to hear. In the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Pastor Lawson, thank you for recognizing my spouse, who does not always go with me, but last night she said she was coming. The text today is more commonly used during Lent, but I believe it is also appropriate for us 1 week away from Easter, Resurrection Day.
All right.
Hear the word of the Lord from Mark chapter 8, verses 29 and 31.
All right.
And I will be reading from the New International Version. Verse 29. But what about you? He asked. Who do you say I am?
All right.
Peter answered. You are the Christ.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Verse 31. He then began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected by the elders, chief priests, and teachers of the law, and that he must be killed, and after 3 days rise again. From this text today, I want to address the subject, a turning place.
Amen.
All right. All right, Bishop.
A turning place.
All right.
And from that topic, Sister Hill, I guess that man this morning and I came from a similar school, but they didn't teach me to preach short sermons. We preached 17 minutes. I want us to concentrate on 3 words: promise, purpose, and presence.
All right.
Promise, purpose, and presence.
All right.
Bishop Henry C. Bunton was one of my bishops, and he was a country fellow who never wanted to drop his countryness. But he could spin words and say things in ways you did not forget. And one of the things he said one day was, anybody who can't see beyond the CME church can't help the CME church. It struck me then, the kind of statement I would not have thought about, but the more I thought about it, the truer it seemed. That anybody who can't see beyond who we are will not be much help for us. Anybody who couldn't see beyond Christian Chapel on Pacific couldn't be a lot of help for Christian Chapel. You have to be able to see beyond where you are, beyond where you've been. You must see the vision beyond what now exists. You must see some promise.
Right.
I love the story of the late Howard Thurman, a 20th century prophet, writer, and thinker. But he remembered in his autobiography people who saw in him some promise. His mother, who realized there were only 3 cities in Florida in those early 1900 days where a black boy could go to high school. So she shipped him off on the bus to go to Jacksonville to high school. But on the rope, on the way, he thought for a moment he was not going anywhere because of a rope. A rope that seemed like a heavy stone. Because he had a borrowed trunk. And it had no handles. And so he put his clothing and items in it and he tied it up with a rope. But when he got to buy his ticket for the bus, and he had already left home, with the little money he had just enough and a little bit for a ticket. But the attendant selling the ticket said, it says that a trunk or a suitcase can go with you. But without a handle, you got a piece of freight. And it will cost you some more money. So he talked about sitting on the steps and crying his heart out, not knowing what he could do. And he saw some overalls and some old brocade shoes in front of him, and he looked up, and the man said, "Boy, what you crying about?" And he told the man where he was trying to go. And the man said, "Well, if you trying to get out of this expletive town to get an education, least I can do is help you." And I always marvel that 65 years later, 65 years later, when that man of great prominence wrote an autobiography, he dedicated it to the stranger in the railroad station who restored my broken dream 65 years ago. Everybody needs promise. Everybody needs a vision beyond where they are. Everybody needs to see that the future can be better than the past. And what does that have to do with this text? Jesus had gone about healing the sick, raising people's hopes, opening people's eyes and ears and hearts, raising the consciousness of possibilities. And then he asked the disciples, "What are they saying about me?"
Right.
And the disciples gave many answers. Some say you're John the Baptist come back to life.
Well,
some think you are Elijah come back, or one of the prophets reincarnated. But Jesus said, what do you see? Who do you say that I am? And Peter said, you are the Messiah. And it's a word, it's a Greek word for a Hebrew understanding. You are God's anointed one. You are the one we've looked for generations after generations. You're the one God has his hands on. A turning place. And when Peter said that, Jesus answered his profession of faith by saying, blessed are you, Simon, because flesh and blood did not give you that answer, but my Father revealed it to you. Let me say it in my own words. You're able to see because God opened your eyes. We are busy. Trying to open people's eyes.
Show you right. Show you right.
I remember preaching at folk. Trying to open eyes. And they taught me a good lesson. Because I remember a certain lady I used to preach at Sunday after Sunday. And every time I thought I preached at her, she would meet me at the back door and she would say, you told them today. I had to learn to preach the gospel. God opens eyes. We don't open people's eyes. God opens eyes. We have to pray for God to open the eyes of people. Everybody needs to be able to see beyond where they are. Thank you, Bishop Bunton. Anybody who can't see beyond the CME Church can't help the CME Church. Many years ago at Christian Chapel, there were some bodies who could see. They had vision. They had a hope. They had a promise. And somebody decided that the past does not have to determine our future. And so they embarked on a church building at a new location, and it required money, and it required financing, and it required a note, a legal IOU, and somebody had to sign their name. Lord have mercy. Peter in Mark 8 embraced the promise. He said, you are the Christ. You are the Messiah. You are the sign that God is here. A turning place needs promise. But along with promise, you have to grab hold of a purpose. We're here today because you envisioned the promise and then you engaged yourself with a purpose. You were determined. You decided. You purposed. I'm sure a whole lot of folk told you you were wasting your time. And some of them are still sitting on the same things they were sitting on. Perhaps you know Rick Warren's bestseller books, The Purpose-Driven Life, and The Purpose-Driven Church. I believe his books are bestsellers because people are seeing that life without purpose is meaningless, boring, dull, empty. I've never understood people who live without purpose. I'm sorry, Lord, that's the truth, so you know it is. Without goals, without focus, without drive. Years ago, I spent a revival week with a husband and wife who were both pastors in another denomination. They weren't CME. In that denomination, they had a guaranteed salary Doesn't that sound good?
Yeah.
They had a guaranteed salary. The conference made sure they got the same salary wherever they went. That week helped convince me that I did not need to live in a system like that. They slept until mid-morning every day. They did, it seemed, almost nothing every day. I did not see them work. I did not see them crack a book to study. I did not hear them call anybody except when they called somebody back. And that was one of the hardest revivals weeks I remember. Because all around me in that home that week was a sense of no purpose. Wow. People need purpose. Now let me warn you, Christian Chapel. Because the sad thing about some of us is that when the church pays off the note, it is time to sit down. I warn you that some people in the church don't see purpose beyond raising money. When we were in seminary, one of our teachers, in fact, told us about an old pastor who had said to him, never let a church pay out of debt. Because he said, when black people have no more debt, they are tempted to sit down and do nothing. But I warn you that the purpose of church is about more than paying off mortgages. Peter saw purpose in what Jesus was doing. He saw in the anointing on Jesus the signs of God's blessing. And when Jesus asked, who do you say that I am? He said, you must be the Messiah. And verse 30 starts out, then Jesus warned them. He began to teach them, verse 31 says, that the Son of God must suffer and be rejected. Can you imagine how it shook their foundation? I can imagine it was a shock. They had been on the road. They were jamming it up. They were marking they were making their mark. Jesus was big news. And all of a sudden he says, this ain't going to last very long.
All right.
I must suffer. The purpose change. Christian Chapel. The purpose is shifting. The purpose is shifting. You're at a turning point. For a long time, you've spent your energies building the building, raising money for the mortgage, but now the purpose is larger and harder. Larger and harder. It's harder because it's about serving people who are harder to deal with than money. But you are called to a larger purpose. Large enough to do in this building. And with this building, the greater things God has called us to do. Building a building is a wonderful thing. Paying it off is even a more wonderful thing. But he did not call us just to build houses.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Look at David, who decided to build God a temple, what he called God's house. And see how God sent Nathan the prophet to ask him, when did God say, I need a house? Behold, the heaven of heavens cannot contain him. Much less this house that you are building. Did not Jesus say, foxes have holes, birds of the air have nests, but the celebrate that we have paid for a house, but he didn't call us just to build a house. What is the purpose he has given us? Look at Luke chapter 4.
All right.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Jesus went home to Nazareth.
Yeah.
Nazareth, where they didn't have much faith. He went home and they gave him the scroll of the book of Isaiah.
Yeah.
And the scripture really says that he started unrolling it and unrolling it and unrolling it until he intentionally found a particular passage. And he read that chapter 61, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Because he has anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners, the recovery of sight to folk who are blind, to release the oppressed, and proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. Even today, it sounds like good news because it is good news. But this 8th chapter is a turning point because the disciples began to understand that the good news was going to cost them something. And he called the crowd and said, if anybody is coming my way, if anybody is coming after me, I'm on my way to